typing the right one, I'm sure now. Sorry about that, guys. Somehow I don't know why it does that. It's a glitch in Streamlabs, and it opens up the wrong video. So now it'll probably be whatever. But I'm excited because I've got the arrest affidavit for the dentist, and guess what? One of the things is that he had a side piece, and his sister-in-law, his wife's sister, is saying that he was a philanderer. So we're going to go look at this arrest warrant and see what's breaking today about this dentist, because it was really weird last night that there was not a lot being said besides those comments we found from. So let's see what this arrest affidavit has to offer us. And I'm going to pull it over here. 1 second. So I've got this, and let me pull this. James Toliver. Here's the redacted arrest warrant. Let's go to right there, the original document. That's what we want. Okay. Date filed March 20th. Okay. So this is people of the state of Colorado, to all peace officers in the state, greetings. A complaint in writing under oath has been made, and it appears that there are reasonable grounds for believing that between March 6th, 2023 through March 15th, 2023 at 6795 South Robertsdale Way in the city of Aurora in Arapahoe County, the state of Colorado, James Toliver Craig, date of birth 2/11/78, race white, gender male, height 5'9", weight 185 pounds, hair blonde, eyes blue, did then and there commit the crime of first-degree murder after deliberation, as that crime is defined by CRS 183102-1A, respectively, and as further set forth in the complaint attached hereto and made a part thereof. You are therefore commanded to arrest James Toliver Craig, date of birth 2/11/78, and bring him before the nearest district court without unnecessary delay, to be dealt with accordingly to law. Okay, and age 45, blah, 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 no bond hold. I, Detective Bobby Olson, of lawful age and being first sworn upon oath, state that I have probable cause for believing that the defendant, James Toliver Craig, date of birth 2/11/78, race white, gender male, height 5'9", weight 185 pounds, hair blonde, eyes blue, did commit the crime of first-degree murder after deliberation, class F1. Your affiant, Bobby Olson, is a police detective with the City of Aurora Police Department and has been employed since July 2013. Your affiant was previously a licensed peace officer in Minnesota from 2004 to 2013. Your affiant has authorized numerous search and arrest warrants while participating in individual and organized crime-related investigations. Additionally, your affiant has conducted and supervised hundreds of investigations in both an overt and covert capacity. Your affiant is currently assigned as a detective with the Aurora Police Department Major Crimes Homicide Unit, MCHU. Your affiant is responsible for investigating significant incidents of violent crime, focusing on homicides, attempted homicides, and officer-involved shootings. Your affiant has conducted numerous investigations in this capacity and routinely utilizes search warrants for residences, vehicles, cellular call detail records, social media accounts, etc., as an investigative tool when appropriate. As a detective, your affiant is authorized to carry firearms, execute warrants, make arrests for offenses, against the state of Colorado, as well as perform other duties authorized by the state and federal law. Your affiant has completed thousands of hours of training over her career, beginning with a basic police academy. In addition, your affiant received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Metropolitan State University. The facts below are based on personal knowledge and/or interviews with witnesses and fellow officers and/or review of official law enforcement reports. On March 15th, 2023, at approximately 11:08 a.m., victim Angela Craig, date of birth 4/15/1979, presented herself to the University Hospital because she had a severe headache and was experiencing dizziness. Angela was accompanied by her brother, Utah. Her brother is in Utah, and later met by her husband, James Craig. Now see, this is different because last night they told us that he took his wife to the hospital. That's incorrect. She was later met by her husband, and she seems to have been brought to the hospital by her brother, who must have been in town from Utah. And trying to see something here. So she was going to be 44 on April 15th. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. At approximately 2 p.m., Angela experienced a seizure and began to rapidly decline medically. That was after she was brought to the hospital. Eventually, she was placed on life support in the intensive care unit. Hospital medical personnel could not find a known medical condition that would have caused Angela's rapid medical decline. Now that makes me wonder if he, when he met her at the hospital, if he gave her something else, if he put something in her IV or he did something right while in the hospital. And maybe that's how they caught him so fast. Maybe there is some camera footage of him doing something. Your affiant was told James was a dentist who worked at the Summerbrook Dental Group. James was business partners with blah, blah, blah. And I believe that maybe that dentist we saw yesterday, but then Ryan doesn't make sense. Okay. Also a dentist. Ryan and his wife are friends with James and Angela. So that looks silly because it looks like this is Ryan's name they took out, but they left his first name there. Not too hard to figure that out. On March 15, 2023, James communicated with someone via text message from his cell phone and informed that person that Angela had been admitted to the University Hospital and her condition was grave. Wow. Redacted, and they both responded to University Hospital. At the hospital, Redacted spoke with one of the attending nurses regarding his suspicion that Angela was a possible victim of poisoning. Redacted explained to the nurse that James recently ordered potassium cyanide. Somebody mentioned cyanide yesterday for their dental practice. So this sounds like the dentist, the other dentist. Okay. Adding that there was no medical reason or purpose to order potassium cyanide for a dental practice. Now, here's the thing. When the other dentist saw that, wouldn't he say, "What the heck are you ordering this for? Is this a mistake? Do you realize you ordered potassium cyanide for our practice?" As a mandatory reporter, the nurse called the police and an investigation ensued. So now, interesting. The Major Crime Homicide Unit was contacted and took over the investigation. On March 16th, 2023, in the early morning hours, your affiant spoke with blah, blah, blah at the Aurora Police Department headquarters where they had volunteered to talk with your affiant. Redacted began by saying he and James have been business partners since August of 2020. 2022. You see, this, I think, is the dentist that took over for that other woman that went out on her own. Now, why that woman probably has some story to tell. So this Ryan, see, he acquired James's dental practice, which had been struggling financially. So he was bought out by this other dentist. Now earlier today, I was watching the YouTube videos. There's 4 YouTube videos on that channel that I showed you last night. If you missed it, go watch last night's video and you'll see where to go find those videos on that channel, because he was supposed to be in Rome today, remember? He was supposed to be in Rome on a conference, on a dental conference. He was a speaker. And we saw by me finding the bankruptcy last night that the past summer of 2022 seems like a big breaking point for him financially. And seems like that other dentist went out on her own, and he apparently hooked up with this other dentist, Ryan, someone who acquired his dental practice. Okay? So, Redacted began by saying he and James have been business partners since August of 2022, when Ryan acquired James's dental practice, which had been struggling financially. But this Ryan guy is still not even on the company website, which is strange. Redacted stated, although he recently took over James's dental practice, they have known each other for over 20 years, and they went to dental school together. Okay, so he's a long time friend, acquaintance of James. Redacted described James as a risk taker. Remember, I could tell you that, like, he seemed like he tried to be a smooth operator, along with that way he gave that testimonial for that, almost like a lead generating company, and it just sounded so weird in the context of dental patients, very used car salesman like. Okay, and for someone that made these videos that said how much like he has long-term relationships with his dental clients and stuff, he was then talking about them as like deals that he was closing. So it was very, very weird. Again, if you missed last night's video, please watch it. We took a deep dive, started a deep dive in this case. They have known each other for over 20 years and went to dental school together. And Redacted described James as a risk taker and found out he had filed for bankruptcy in 2021. Well, we found that out too. It was actually 2020 that he filed for bankruptcy and was on the verge of bankruptcy again. Redacted also stated that in January, James confided in blank, telling him that he and Angela were having marital problems. On March 15th, 2023, office manager Redacted contacted Redacted via phone as he was driving to University Hospital to be with James. And that again must be the dentist Ryan. Redacted, he was contacted by another office manager. Let's go to the next page. Redacted that on March 6, 2023, the day Angela first became sick and went to Parker Adventist, she was working late at the dental office. Redacted said James returned to the office after hours. Redacted observed James at an exam room computer with the lights off doing something on the computer. This was odd because James had his own office with his own computer and personal laptop that he regularly took to and from the office. Redacted said approximately 30 minutes after James left the dental office, he texted Redacted telling her that he would be receiving a personal package, told her not to open it. Well, could that be the potassium cyanide? Probably. Redacted stated that a package arrived for James on Monday, March 13th, 2023. Redacted found that the package box had been opened. They did a terrible job redacting this. Caitlin said she found out that another employee, redacted, had opened the package. Forgetting that James was getting a package, she looked inside the package. Inside the package, redacted said she saw a biohazard sticker and what said potassium cyanide on a circular canister. Redacted realized that the package was for James. Redacted sealed the package back up and gave it to James. Redacted said later she Googled what potassium cyanide was used for and saw that Angela had the same symptoms. Caitlin called Jacqueline. Oh, they did a terrible job redacting this. When she heard Angela was back in the hospital on March 15th, 2023, and told her about the contents of the package. Redacted arrived at the university hospital in separate vehicles, but they entered the hospital together. Upon arriving, they spoke briefly to James, but he received a phone call from a doctor, so he stepped away. While James was on the phone, and the nurse came out to speak with them, Redacted stated, while James was on the phone, he pulled the nurse away and told the nurse his concerns that Angela may have been poisoned with potassium cyanide. While at the hospital, Redacted observed James meeting with doctors about Angela's prognosis. Redacted observed James crying after the meeting. Redacted then left the hospital and returned to Redacted's vehicle. While in Redacted's vehicle, Redacted received a call from James's personal cell phone. Redacted's phone connected to Redacted's vehicle Bluetooth so that Redacted could hear the conversation. James told Redacted he had heard some disturbing information, and then asked Redacted if he had said anything to the hospital staff. Redacted admitted that he talked to the hospital staff about the incident. Redacted advised that he was aware of the package that James had ordered. James replied that that package was a ring for Angela and that he wanted to surprise her. Redacted countered by telling James he knew it was not a ring. James claimed the package was never opened, so Redacted couldn't know what was in it. Redacted advised that the package was definitely opened and it did not contain a ring. Redacted asked James why he would buy potassium cyanide. James eventually recanted and admitted that the package contained potassium cyanide, but claimed that Angela asked him to order it. James claimed that Angela couldn't order the potassium cyanide because she didn't have the proper credentials. James told Redacted he ordered the potassium cyanide, but he didn't think she, Angela, would actually take it. This is grand right now. This is like the typical thing now. Now he's going to blame the wife for her own death. Would take it. Sounds Watts-like. James described the situation as being similar to a game of chicken. Oh my gosh. At that point, Redacted told James to stop talking and get a lawyer. Urafiant and Detective Graw then interviewed Michelle, who provided a similar account of events as her husband Ryan. Redacted told Urafiant that Angela had first become sick on March 6, 2023. Angela went to Parker Adventist Hospital and was released the same day. Angela reported she was dizzy and weak. Redacted stated Angela fell ill again. She returned to Parker Adventist Hospital on March 9th, 2023. Angela was admitted on March 9th and released on March 14th. She stayed 5 days in the hospital. Medical personnel were unable to determine what was causing Angela to have her symptoms. Redacted stated the next day, March 15th, look at that. So she was in the hospital. She went to the hospital first on the 6th. She got released, same day. Then she goes back on the 9th. She's there for 5 days, gets released on the 15th. And remember, she was back on the 15th. Medical personnel were unable to determine what was causing Angela to have her symptoms. Redacted stated that the next day, March 15th, at approximately 11 a.m., Angela was brought to University Hospital by her brother. Redacted added that she had exchanged texts with James since Angela was admitted to Parker Adventist on March 9th, trying to keep up to date with Angela's medical condition. Redacted stated she was a professor and had a PhD in nursing, so she asked James to keep her updated on Angela's symptoms to potentially assist in diagnosing her. Redacted provided your affiant screenshots of the text exchange between her and James beginning March 9th, 2023. Your affiant confirmed the contact Jim Craig in redacted cell phone was James's phone number. Redacted. Your affiant reviewed the text messages. The blue boxes outline redacted statements, and the white boxes outline James's responses in reference to Angela's medical conditions. Okay. So this is Jim Craig. Which hospital is Angie at? Do you need anything? He says, Parker Adventist. Thanks for offering. But for now, I think we've got more support than we can handle. Gotta love the church. The person he's texting with says, do they have a diagnosis yet? I'm sorry, we are praying, they continue. Jim answers, no diagnosis. Thank you. That was at 3 p.m. on March 9th. And then at 6:21 p.m. on March 9th, this person texts Jim again. Any news? Jim answers, nothing yet. They just admitted her to the hospital for an overnight observation. And the person texts back, good, I'm praying you. I want to see if that's out of order because that sounds like there should be something else. But anyway, then she said, I mean, good. I'm glad she's being admitted. He texts back, LOL, ... Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. Well, he seems pretty jovial, right? Friday, 9:07 a.m. That's March 10th. How did Ange do overnight? He answers, low blood pressure all night, vomiting in the morning, still trying to figure this out. Person texts back, ugh, I'm so sorry. Tell her we love her and are praying. He texts back, I sure will, thank you. Friday, 6:14 p.m. Just checking to see how Ange is doing and if they have made any headway today. How are you doing? Do you need anything? He texts back, thanks, Michelle. It's been pretty rough, not having any answers. I get pretty nervous. They did so many tests. They have done 4 or 5 different blood draws. The regular blood panels all come back okay, and she is negative for autoimmune disorders, negative for diabetes. Her A1C was 5.5. The main issue they seem to be concerned about right now is blood pressure. They dumped 5 liters into her IV over 24 hours, and she looks super puffy and swollen, but her blood pressure is barely 100/60. Yesterday morning, it was 56/44. So although that is the main concern that the doctors have, my main concern is just how she's feeling. Really pretty crappy. They are going to keep her one more night, and hopefully she can come home tomorrow sometime. Okay? The person texts back, how did her kidneys handle that kind of fluid? I'm sure she is miserable, and this has to be so frightening for everyone. He says her urea nitrogen was 29 yesterday, but today it's back down in the normal range of 21. They think she was just dehydrated. Her kidneys seem to be doing well so far. I thought it might be adrenal insufficiency, but they tested for that too, and so far, just no answers. She texts back, low BP would cause her to be lethargic and slur her speech. I'm glad she doesn't have those disease processes, but an answer would help ease Hold on, something doesn't make sense with that. Anxiety and have a plan. Not knowing is more terrifying, in my opinion. What about a scan to check for a tumor? Thyroid, adrenal? I'm sure everyone is thinking of every pathophysiological process that affects blood pressure. He says they did an MRI of her head because brain tumors are in the family. They did an ultrasound of her heart. They did a head CT. And they did a chest and abdomen CD. And everything has come back negative so far. So I guess that's good. No tumor is a good thing, right? She says, yes, that is a good thing. I'm glad they ruled it out, especially with a family history. It's just hard to imagine she was so dehydrated to cause so low blood pressure. I'm sure she is puffy with 5 liters of fluid on board. And I'm sure her kidneys were working double time to process it. I'm glad her A1C was normal. I would have sworn she was having a diabetic ketoacidosis. But I couldn't imagine that they wouldn't have checked a blood sugar on the first ER visit. I will continue to pray. I know you have amazing support. Please let us know how we can help. He says they did check blood sugar on the very first ER visit. She was 195 and she was throwing glucose in her urine. That was Monday, so they were almost sure that it was diabetes. But then, when we went back again yesterday, checked on her blood sugar was lower, but still high, like 145. But there was no glucose in her urine at all. And then her A1C came back at 5.5. So that was a mystery. Person texts. So A1C is an average of the last 90 or so days. If this is new blood glucose problem, it won't necessarily show in her A1C. He says, yeah, that's a good point, but no glucose in her urine today. So that's, and then they text back and say, but has she been eating much since Monday? He says, let's see. A little bit, but not very much. Today, the only thing that she has had is 1 cracker, and she threw it up. Yesterday, the only thing she had was a protein shake in the morning, which she threw up, and some chicken noodle soup for dinner, which she also threw up. So I see the point you're making. There may not be any sugar to throw into the urine. She says, yes, that's what I'm thinking. However, her IV could have sugar in it, D5, LR with or without K, or are they running NS? He says LR without K, which also surprised me because her potassium and something else, some other electrolyte, but I can't remember now what they were both low today. They gave her potassium supplements orally. The first one she was able to take, and the second one she threw up. She's also on tramadol for her headaches, and they have her on 8 milligrams of Zofran every 4 hours, I think. The next dose is due in about an hour and a half. Although this morning her most violent vomiting episode happened after 5 minutes. After that, they gave her IV Zofran. So that's weird. 5L is a lot to run with. D5 or LR makes sense. That is strange because giving it IV would work pretty quickly. I'm glad they ruled out a brain tumor. The vomiting with an antiemetic and headaches would point that way. If her K stays low and she continues to vomit, I would expect they will add K to her IV. And this one has a red box on it. His response here, it says, if it wasn't my wife, this would be kind of a fun puzzle to try to work out. Wow, that's very bizarre, right? She says truth. He said, I'm surprised they haven't yet. She says, that's all we need is a low K to move her to electrical issues with her heart on top of what she is dealing with. What about a blood culture? to rule out an infectious process. Her white blood cells and leukocytes are all normal? I know they are smarter than me. I'm just working through all the things in my mind. He says, they haven't done a culture, but her white blood cells and leukocytes are normal. Oh, her C-reactive problem is super high, though, like 20. I think the high end of normal is 2.99, so there is an inflammatory process somewhere. Then the person writes back, well, that's huge, and says there is something going on. He says Angie's heart ultrasound was normal except for unable to accurately measure pulmonary pressure due to insufficient tricuspid valve regurgitation envelope. She says, interesting assessment. So she is having tricuspid regurgitation to the point that her PA pressure can't be measured? He says, is that what that means? She says, I could be wrong, but that's how I read it. Tricuspid regurgitation means the tricuspid valve leaks and blood is able to go back into the right atrium. I would think that could affect pulmonary artery pressure. Tricuspid regurgitation is usually associated with high PA pressure. In reading, I think an insufficient TVR envelope suggests pulmonary hypertension. This is the opposite of what I first thought. He says, from my nephew, he's an internist, symptoms of pulmonary hypertension usually involve breathing issues such as shortness of breath. She has been experiencing that, so not being able to accurately measure pulmonary pressure doesn't really matter much at this point. Okay, she says, that's good to know. With such a low blood pressure, maybe it throws off the ability to get a reading. Now, this is Saturday. Any news today? He answers back, the doc is going to do some imaging of her gallbladder and some other internal organs to see how they look. Still pretty much the same, though. When I talk to her, she seems like she's in a ton of pain and super, super tired. Of course, all of the tests are coming back perfect. She says, well, we know we just haven't found the cause yet. We will keep praying for answers and for Angie and your family. Tuesday. This is 6:34 a.m. Any update on Ange? Not really, no answers. She's on oxygen full time now. She texts back, that must be so frustrating for everyone. I'm so sorry. Is she home or still admitted? He says, still admitted. Whatever you need, we're here. Thanks, Michelle. She's at University Hospital. So maybe another set of eyes on this will help. She says, I think Ryan is trying to get a hold of you. He says, yeah, I just talked to him. She says, I'm glad she is there, and I pray they can find answers because there is clearly something. Is she conscious? He says, no. She says, how are, I'm sure she meant to say, you holding up? I know that's a dumb question. How are the kids? He said, she's not laughing at any of my jokes either, so you know it's really bad. Because he sounds like a real narcissist. He's, of course she would laugh at his jokes. He's so funny. That's distressing because you are funny. It's funny, all right. Honestly, I haven't really told the kids how bad it is right now. I don't really have any information to tell them, and I don't want to scare them needlessly. Nora and Violet are at the zoo with friends. The other kids know that she went back to the hospital, but they are just doing school and stuff. That's smart, she said. I'm scared, Jim. Is that bad to say? He says, not at all. I am too. And then she put a picture, and it's from Saving Nemo, and it says, and I know Funky, hold on a minute, no. And I know, I'm a clownfish. That's for the laughing part of the jokes part. He says, it's weird not being able to wake her up. She says, I'm sure it's frightening. James then texted, redacted 2 pictures. Okay. He says, crash, intubated, 5544, pulse, 115, SPO, 284. Doc says she should be mentally responsive by now, and she's not. Doc says she's very, very worried. Use the word tenuous. She says, any progress, that's a lot of people, and that's never good. You probably have more people than you can deal with, but I will come and just sit. He says, my brother-in-law is here, but if you want to come, you can. She says, I will. University Hospital on Colfax, like by Children's. He says, yes. ED room 5. She says, Ryan and I are coming. The text message noting the day Friday was March 10th. The text message noting yesterday was March 15th, 2023. So I think this one had to be the 15th. Okay. Redacted contacted your affiant on March 15th, 2023 at approximately 9 a.m. Redacted stated James called Redacted, however, he did not answer. Redacted then received the following text message from James. This is from James. Good morning, Redacted. Thank you for taking my patient load today. I want to make an urgent plea to you. If we were ever friends, please do this favor for me. Please don't talk to anyone about what we talked about last night, including any law enforcement officers. You are under no obligation to answer their questions unless you are served a subpoena. And you will do more damage than good to my family by continuing to insert yourself into this. Angela is gone, and I am devastated. There is nothing that can bring her back, and I want desperately to tell you all of the details so that you can better understand what's gone on behind the scenes with her. There is so much that you don't know that I wish you did. If you knew everything, this would make so much sense to you, but there is no use in telling you right now. You and I have a history of you and the other partners and Jackie all talking about me, talking behind my back and deciding what you think is best, and then you're always the fall guy that has pulled the trigger or tell me what you have decided about me. In fact, yesterday you didn't even come to me. I had to seek you out. You have never given me the advantage of talking with me first. You just decide and then act and hope I'll pick up the pieces later. This is a pattern in our business dealings and now has become a factor in our personal dealings. Let me paint a picture for you of what this has done. Yesterday, I had to tell my kids their mom was not going to wake up, and they were there to say their final goodbyes. That was 6:45 p.m. The hospital said we could bring the kids up to say goodbye. But because of the investigation you opened by your incomplete information, the hospital made those poor, grieving, hysterical kids wait until 10 to see their mom. After an hour or so of saying goodbye to her, we went home just before midnight, only to have our house sealed against our entry by the police. Instead of getting to go home and find comfort, they were met with flashing lights and cold, unfeeling cops, and the kids, scared and confused, had to go sleep at the home of a ward member. Family is starting to come into town today, and I have to tell them they can't come to my house and try to explain why. I have to hire a homicide attorney to make sure I don't end up being painted in the light that some hungry DA is anxious to paint me in because I charged, even though that is absolutely not what happened. Oh, because I am most likely going to be charged, even though that is absolutely not what happened. Ryan, I understand why you did what you did. I do. I get it. But if you had come to me personally, man to man, instead of talking to everyone else about what you thought you knew, I might have let you in on some details that would have made you less likely to cause this horrible storm. Man, Ryan, if you had only put me higher on your list of priorities instead of putting everyone else's opinions and gossip ahead of me, for that I am very, very mad at you. He has this habit of using these words twice all the time. I have talked to you about this multiple times, but you don't seem to care. And now, what you thought was responsible has become reckless and so destructive. And so I'm asking, if there was ever any love in your heart for me, please don't make this any worse by talking to any officers or anyone else about this, unless you are legally forced to. And whoever else on the team you think is going to be questioned, I would ask that you privately ask them to honor this request too. And please do not respond to this text message until I text you again. Aurora Police Department Major Crimes Homicide Detective Chamberlain responded to University Hospital on March 16, 2023 at approximately 12:30 a.m. to speak with attending hospital staff. Detective Chamberlain learned that Angela arrived at the University Hospital at approximately 11 a.m. At approximately 2 p.m., Angela began suffering from a serious seizure, and doctors struggled to intubate her. Angela suffered from a lack of oxygen. She had no pupil reaction and began to have increased intracranial pressure, which caused decreased perfusion pressure, and was sent to the intensive care unit. Detective Chamberlain learned that Angela was still on life support, had no brain activity, and her prognosis was poor, that she may not make it through the evening. Redacted was contacted and asked if she would respond to the Aurora Police Department to speak to detectives. In summary, Redacted stated that she had been the office manager for the dentist's office for approximately 6 months and worked for James at Summerbrook Dental. Although Redacted is also a dentist, he does not work at the dental clinic, but is a partner in the business. Okay, so that makes sense now. That's why he's not listed. He just took over financially, but he's not practicing in that practice. Redacted knew that on March 6, 2023, James and his wife Angela worked out in the morning. Okay, March 6th. Before the workout, James made Angela a protein shake, or pre-workout shake, in which James gave her extra protein because she was feeling sluggish. Yeah, I gave her a little extra something else too. After the workout, Angela became faint and dizzy, and ultimately James took Angela to the hospital. Redacted also started to notice odd or strange things around the office. On March 6th, towards the end of the day, she found James in the dentist's office in the back medical area, which she referred to as the exam room number 9. She thought this was strange because James had his computer in his office and his wife had just been discharged from the hospital. Redacted confirmed it was not common for James to use the computer in the exam room, specifically number 9, because he had his own computer in his office, as well as a laptop he took home with him. Redacted left a short time later, and James remained in the office. Approximately 30 minutes later, James sent her a text message saying he had a personal package come into the office to let her know when it came. And during this time frame, Angela became ill and was taken to the hospital, where she was constantly throwing up. It was unclear what her diagnosis was, and James had said Angela's blood pressure was low. During Angela's time in the hospital, James had conversations with Redacted where he told her he didn't think his wife was going to make it. In the same conversation, James asked about business in the office. Redacted found it strange that James was concerned about his dental practice when his wife was in a dire medical condition. On March 13th, 2023, Redacted said one of the office attendants opened a package that came into the office. The package was addressed directly to James. She knew this to be the personal package James had been asking about. This attendant had already opened the package. Redacted took the package from the office attendant, which she intended to put in James's office. As Redacted repackaged the box, she noticed a packing slip that read, "Potassium cyanide." Redacted described the package as a foil square with no other markings on it. Redacted said the package had a biohazard or warning, but she couldn't remember what it was. Redacted resealed the box and hand-delivered the package to James. Redacted later saw James walking down the hall of the office with a cylindrical-shaped canister wrapped in brown paper or construction paper with a metal lid. Redacted was unsure what the cylindrical canister was, but stated in 6 months she had been at the dental office she had not seen a similar canister. Redacted had never seen potassium cyanide delivered to the office and was unsure what it was for, so she performed a Google search. In that search, Redacted noted the side effects of ingesting potassium cyanide and matched the same symptoms Angela had been exhibiting over the last week, including nausea, vomiting, and low blood pressure. Redacted said James told her when Angela was discharged on March 14, 2023, she made accusations that James had poisoned her. Wow, look at that. Redacted said James told her when Angela was discharged March 14, 2023, she made accusations that James had poisoned her. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm getting a vibe that this office manager, could that be his love interest that he's supposed to have? Because why would he be telling this office manager something like that? I don't know. That's just weird. Angela said something to James along the lines of, there are poisons they don't test for. Redacted heard from James that Angela was sent home on oxygen and they didn't know what was wrong with her. On March 15, 2023, Redacted learned that Angela was back in the hospital with the same symptoms. Redacted said at one point she called her manager, Jacqueline, who also thought James might be responsible for Angela's sickness. Redacted then shared the information she had about finding the potassium cyanide invoice. Redacted stated she knew that James and Angela were having marital problems because James had recently mentioned he had told Angela that he wanted a divorce. Redacted said James had been distant from time to time at work and would leave sometimes at lunch because he and Angela were having fights. Redacted said she had not seen the package since the day she gave it to James and said the trash was collected by the trash company daily. On March 16, 2023, Detective Marino was contacted by Child Protective Services caseworker Sydney Romero, who met with the members of the Craig family, James Craig and his children, individually. In her conversation with James, she believed James made some concerning statements. Namely, James alleged that Angela was suicidal and had been for some time. James claimed that he, personally, has had to revive Angela on several occasions over the last few months. James said he asked Angela for a divorce in December of 2022, and since that time, Angela's depression and suicidal ideations have increased. James believed that Angela was intentionally overdosing on opioids and another unknown substance. James never reported any of these incidents, never sought attention for Angela during or after the alleged overdose attempts, and never sought professional counseling or therapy for Angela's depression and suicidal ideations. James told Sydney he was sure that Angela's toxicology would come back positive for substances, but said he did not know what kind. Sydney felt compelled to report the following statements because none of Angela's children mentioned their mother's depression, nor did they mention any alleged previous suicide attempts. Sydney believed that it was improbable that this type of event, an overdose, suicide attempt, could happen with no one inside the household except James being aware. Sydney provided her opinion that James was attempting to build a cover story for what really happened to Angela. On March 16, 2023, Detective Marino communicated with a friend of the Craig family. Redacted, informed Detective Marino that James was currently at her residence and intended to spend the night with his children while he was waiting for his two oldest children to come in from out of town. Didn't I tell you they were probably away on a mission or something? Redacted stated she resided at Redacted and that James would be there through the morning. Again, if you didn't watch last night's video, please do. There's a lot of information about this family, a lot of pictures and everything else. On March 16, 2023, Detective Marino submitted 3 search warrant applications and affidavits to the 18th Judicial District Courts. 1 for James and Angela's home, 1 for the Summerbrook Dental Office, 14991 East Hampton Avenue, number 370, and 1 for Redacted's address. Redacted. Detective Marino was sworn in by the magistrate, Richard Farrow, who signed and issued all 3 search warrants. On March 16, 2023, at approximately 8:30 a.m., the Aurora Police Department Detective Graw and your affiant responded to Redacted, where we spoke to James. James stated he did not wish to speak to us about his wife's medical status. James was provided a copy of the signed search warrant requesting his cellular phone, Angela's cellular phone, his wallet, and his laptop. James handed your affiant Angela's cell phone and provided the passcode. James then handed your affiant his cell phone, a light blue iPhone 14, and provided the passcode. James said the laptop that he used regularly was at his dental office. James provided your affiant with the laptop password. James said he didn't carry a wallet, but he kept his credit cards and ID in his phone case. Your affiant took pictures of the cards and his Colorado driver's license and gave them back to James. On March 16, 2023, at approximately 8:45 a.m., your affiant, along with other major crimes homicide detectives, responded to 6795 South Robertsdale Way and executed the search warrant. Upon clearing the residence to ensure that no one was inside, your affiant noted the house was affixed with both external and internal surveillance cameras. After the residence was cleared, Aurora Police Department Detective Marino completed an amended search warrant to include the seizure and search of the external and internal surveillance equipment and recorded surveillance footage. The search warrant was signed by the 18th Judicial District Magistrate Heidi Kutcher. During the search of the residence, multiple items believed to have information and or evidence related to this incident were located. The items collected from the residence were the following: multiple types of protein powders, multiple workout-style shakers used to consume protein drinks or shakes, a computer tablet, 2 different plastic Ziploc-style bags that both had white powdery substances in them, neither labeled what they were, a water bottle located on the exercise bike in the main bedroom area. While executing this search of the residence, we could not locate a hard drive or device that would obviously maintain data for a surveillance device. There was a security system affixed to the wall that could play the video exterior only, but it was not something that would be easily unplugged to seize. It is believed that the surveillance information would most likely be maintained on devices such as a phone, tablet, or computer in a cloud-based system. On March 16th at approximately 11:45 a.m., your affiant and other major crimes homicide detectives executed the search warrant at Summerbrook Dental, 14991 East Hampton Avenue, Suite 370 in Aurora, Colorado. The dental office was closed for business. Upon entry to the business, multiple cameras affixed to the office walls were observed. The offices were clean and orderly. The information previously provided was that James had been in dental room 9, where he was on the computer there in the dark. Your affiant viewed the dental room and found it to be an open-style dental room, allowing someone to see if a person were at the computer. Each room had individual lights, but they were not illuminated with overhead lights. The rooms were dark. Each exam room was identified by a silver metal style number on the hallway walls next to the entrance of the rooms. Exam room number 9 was found to be at the far end of the clinic's dead-end hallway. Your affiant collected the hard drive that was hooked up and connected to the monitor in exam room number 9. The hard drive was a Dell Optiplex 3070. The drive had a Logitech USB plugged in at the back. The hard drive was seized. Your affiant located an office in the clinic's southeast corner containing 2 office desks. On the far desk south, a laptop was observed. When the laptop screen was woken, it showed the last logged in person was James. The password James provided for the laptop was entered to make sure that this laptop was his. The password activated the laptop and opened it. No further investigation into the laptop's contents was conducted. The laptop was collected and determined to be a Dell Precision 7750, gray silver in color. The series of characters on the back of it had ST3QCFYD3 and that's a serial number. I think James' laptop was seized. Aurora Police Department Detective Harris located a small hand vacuum in the office with 3 additional desks with computers. The vacuum had a white powdery substance inside of it. A portion of the substance was collected and seized. Detective Harris located James's DEA number. Your affiant knows the DEA number is assigned to healthcare providers, allowing them to write prescriptions. Your affiant accessed Angela's cell phone text messages and found several between her and James. Your affiant found Angela and James's text messages were comparable to other couples texting about their day, their children's day, and their activities. Your affiant found Angela had James in her phone as the boy. Oh, really? With a picture of the 2 of them, and confirmed the phone number had matched that of the phone number of Ryan and Michelle said was his. While reading through the text messages on March 1st, 2023, your affiant found Angela and James were discussing their relationship, mainly about James's healing and counseling. Your affiant noted the following text exchange. Angela's text messages are in blue, and James is in white. Let's see. So she says, have to do everything alone. Didn't I say that from the Facebook pictures that she put that swing set and everything, right? So some observations were spot on here. Oh, here's what I'm looking for. Okay, let me make this a little larger here. Have to do everything alone. Your healing and happiness. This marriage is more important. Han my day. You are more important than my day. He says, thank you. I know you are getting ready to go out and spend some time with Tony. That was that friend that we saw on Facebook. And I would like to ask that you keep last night's conversation details just between you and I. I trust Tony, but it was hard for me to even tell you that stuff. I'm definitely not ready for anybody else to hear it. She says, of course, I wasn't planning to talk about any of it. I haven't actually talked to Tony about any of the last few months since that initial conversation. He says, I'm sorry. I know she is kind of your outlet and your strength and support and somebody who you could always go to vent. I hate taking away even a part of that, since I know this is really, here he goes with the double words, really hard for you. I also don't want you... Hold on a minute. Your affiant noted James and Angela's text messages beginning on the first day she began to experience unexplained illness symptoms. So here we go. Here's the text messages. March 6th. He says, "Thank you so much for making my drink this morning. I just love you. I hope you had a great day, and I'm so glad you're back in town." "You're welcome, baby," she says. "I love you too. I think my body is not letting the caffeine this morning, excuse me, letting is probably liking, the caffeine this morning either. My stomach feels fine, but my head feels funny and dizzy. Very strange." He says, "It's been a week since caffeine for you. Maybe your body is saying no thank you. I did a full scoop of caffeine and a full big scoop of the B vitamins. Is that how much you normally take? I'm super shaky." She says, "Oh no, I do a small scoop of the B vitamin mix. It feels really weird." He says, "Oops, sorry baby." She says, "That's okay, it'll wear off. I am dizzy and my eyes don't want to focus, but I can get the stuff done that I need to do this morning." He says, "Maybe you should lie down." She says, "I'm laying my face on the mat in my room." He says, "You have a bed, you know." She says, "I'm stinky. Just seems excessive for a little extra supplement." He says, "Pearl is flying in this morning to see me. I totally forgot. I think she's flying out today too." She says, "I don't feel right in my head." He says, "Do I need to come home?" She says, "No, this is just weird. I'm dizzy in my head and my eyes are working slowly and my body is responding slowly." He says, "That sounds really wrong. I'm going to come home. I don't like this." She says, "You can't. You need to work. I'll throw on some clothes and sit with the girls and see if it goes away." He says, "Okay, I were acting, but I don't like that. I can cancel patients for the morning or move some to Dr. P if needed. So if you change your mind, let me know. Do we have a blood pressure cuff? You should try that. You should try that and see if your BP is low or something. Do you get lightheaded when you stand up?" She said, "It feels more like I feel when I take heavy meds and everything adjusts and moves slowly, like I'm moving in a thick gel. My eyes are struggling to stay focused." He said, "Did you take your BP?" She says, "I don't know where one is." He says, "Okay, if you do end up wanting me to come home, I'll bring one. I have a bottle of magnesium in my second drawer down on the left side of my sink. Take one of those. Have you eaten anything?" She says, "I had my protein shake and magnesium. Makes me weird. This is not hungry." "Are you nauseous?" "No, I feel drugged." He says, "Given our history, I know that must be triggering." Wow, given our history, I know that must be triggering? What the heck does that mean? "Just for the record, I didn't drug you." Wow. "I am super worried though. You really looked pale before I left, like in your lips even." Then he says, "Update?" He says, "I was plugging your symptoms into Google and stroke matches some of what you're describing. Do you have weakness on your whole body or just on one side? And is it both eyes or just one that feels blurry?" She said, "It feels like my whole body and it's tingly and my eyes are struggling to focus." He said, "Are you still laying down?" She says, "I got in my bed." He said, "Okay, good." She says, my whole body feels so heavy." He says, "Something's really wrong. I'm coming home with a blood pressure cuff. If nothing else, I can at least help the girls stay on track while you rest." She says, "Please come get the dogs." He says, "Sorry. Also," she says, "Please come get the dogs." She says, "Sorry. Also, I want to shower, but I'm worried." He says, "Okay, I'll come help." He says, "I'm all done and headed home. How are you feeling?" She says, "Same. Bella's making grilled cheese." He says, "Thanks, Belle. I'm all done here and headed home now." She said, "I would like another blessing tonight if there's someone who could help. He said, okay, I'm sure we can find someone. Then she says, you don't have to miss work. Hold on. We don't have anywhere to go today, and the girls and I will be fine. I'm starting to think I'm just sick, and this is part of it. I'm going to try my popcorn and Dr. Walker this morning, and we'll see what we can do. He says, I'm not sure your popcorn will do much, but you're welcome to try it. PCP, she says, I may just have Belle take me to urgent care this morning. I should have had you do that yesterday. The ER is useless. Sorry. He says, no, you're fine. It did help us rule out a lot of the other scarier things, so I'm glad we did it. I'm kind of wondering if maybe I have a sinus infection. And I didn't really even notice because I get so used to them, and it's turned into an inner ear infection, and that's why it came on all of a sudden. Let's hope, he says. So how are you feeling compared to yesterday now that you're up and moving around? He says, loving around. Same. Geez, he says. Hold on one second. Okay. Geez, he says, I'm not sure what you were expecting. I don't think this is a sleep thing. He says, I don't know either. I was hoping that maybe the worst of it was behind us, and you were going to start feeling better over time, I guess. She says, did the ER give you any paperwork yesterday? Okay. He says, only the discharge paperwork on the island. It didn't have any of the blood work results, or your MRI interpretation, or the CT interpretation, or even the glucose numbers. Since you are out and about, I really think you should go over there and see if you can get a copy of it. She said, they were supposed to give us info on the patient portal so we could access it ourselves. He says, I didn't get any of that. Sorry, the patient portal discussion must have been something that happened before I got back, kind of like between your MRI and being discharged. That's okay, she says. I'll take care of it. I don't want to tell you, but I feel like you would be upset if I don't. But I may have passed out a little this morning while standing in the kitchen. I just remember holding on to the island because I was dizzy, and then Violet was in my face saying, Mommy. He says, thank you for telling me, but that would have been a good moment to call 911. She says, I just waited for Belle. It's weird because my eyes seem to be focusing better today. He says, well, that's good, I guess. She says, I woke up with a headache and looks like she's saying, spits in my eye, spots went away. Spots, she means to say. Headache was still there. Sorry, baby, that sounds awful. Your family is out of control, but hilarious. She says, I'm aware of both of those things. BS, only 97 today. I think. He says, wow, that's weird. A1C? That's blood sugar, it must be. Not doing urine test here. They recommend I go back to the ER, but my A1C was normal yesterday, right? Isn't that what the ketones are? Never mind. She told me they don't have the capability to do that test, but my PCP should. I'm tired. How did your talk with Matt go? I need a new PCP. He says it went fine. He says this sounds like diabetes to him, he said. He said, with your sugars as high, the lens in your eye expands. It makes it hard to focus. You can get mental confusion and become really tired and weak. And he said it would explain the audio disturbances you've had too. He is really disappointing that the ER let you go without at least giving you some insulin. He said that we need to find you a PCP and call them and say that you are a new diabetic and you need to be seen sooner than later. He was hoping somebody could get you in as early as today or tomorrow. She said, my doctor can get me in Thursday or Friday, but not before that. I don't want to be a new diabetic, so I would rather not say those words. Tell Matt to stick it. What should I do? He says, let's plan on Thursday or Friday then. She said, I went ahead and scheduled it for 3 o'clock on Friday because that's when I would have a ride. Do you think I should change it to Thursday? My head is killing me, and I'm so tired. Making these decisions is really hard. He says, I think you should do it on Thursday, and I'm sorry your head hurts so bad. She says, I can't drive and nobody's here to take me. He said, I can find you a ride. What time could you get the appointment for? She said, I'll call back and find a ride and someone to watch the kids. He says, I may be able to help with that depending on what time. Actually, Dr. P is out Thursday, so maybe just stick to Friday. She says, too late, I changed it. On top of this, I'm pretty sure I have a sinus infection. He said, would you like me to call in a Z-Pack for you? She says, that would be great. Sorry, I meant to say that. On it. The PA at the urgent care called in a prescription for some kind of medication that's supposed to help with dizziness. I guess we could pick it up, but I wonder if it helps with dizziness caused by high blood chair. I don't know how any of that works. I love you. It was so nice hanging out with you and just watching a show and snuggling. I'm sorry that you still aren't feeling well and that you feel like I'm disappointed about that. I'm not disappointed at all, just feeling empathy for how hard this must be for you. Hopefully things can improve and get better. You see what he's doing here? He knows what he's doing to her. He's getting rid of some of his guilt by making him think that he still loves her, and then he actually has to tell her that he's feeling empathy for her because he doesn't even know how to really feel empathy. Okay, so he's got to make sure that she knows. I'm also so grateful that the last couple of days have allowed me to have more flexibility in my schedule. God really does know what he's doing. Are you feeling anything in particular for dinner tonight or this week? She says, I'm having a really hard time feeling okay, being sick, and an even harder time knowing that's me or you, whether that's me or you. I could tell you were worried yesterday, but I guess I just think they sent us home and you, said nothing was wrong and you think I should be fine. I realize I could be reliving the past. It's just hard. And frankly, all of this is really scary, and I don't feel like we've addressed that at all. But I don't even remember most of yesterday, so maybe we did address it. I'm a crazy person. I'm not feeling anything particular about food right now. Tony's sending dinner tonight. Oh, good. What's she sending? And when will it arrive? Panera, 6:30. I'm on my way. Will you please let me know when you're up? I'm nervous about it, just being you and the littles. Today, I'm thinking about being up. Julia's coming for Vi later. Oh good, what about Nora? She wants to play online with her friends, drinking my drink and sitting on the couch with my ice pack and 2 anxious dogs. No blurred vision or dizziness or anything, mostly just the headache. I guess that's an improvement over the last few days. She says it's possible the headache will go away and I'll feel okay today, so yes. And my sinuses are cleared out and draining. I can breathe again, but it's making everything taste gross. He says, I'm sorry, but that also sounds like good news. It's okay. It will go away. Just wanted to update you, and I'm hoping you don't worry today. What did you feed Ember this morning? He says her frozen food. That's the bird. That's their bird, that African gray parrot. She said, and if you missed last night's video, please go back in that video. There's so much about this family in that video from last night. Okay, thanks. She was being noisy, and I think she wants her snack. And another thing, my nose hurts. Maybe next time I'm delirious and I have an IV wrap, you could remove it for me because I punch myself in the nose. I would really appreciate that. He says, I'll make a mental note of that. She says, how are you today? So busy. Here we go. Double word, Jim. So busy. I'm planning to come home and eat lunch with you, though. She says, am I eating lunch? I'll need to gear up for that. I'm glad I get to see you. He said, I'm glad, too. I'll need to ask you what you're hungry for and bring it to you. I'm kind of feeling just a smoothie or something. Yeah, something easy that you can put some more poison into, right? Yeah. She says, I'm not feeling anything. Don't bring anything. I'll eat something here. How's your headache? Better, but it still hurts. I probably just need a shower and some sleep and some food. I hate your bird today. She won't be quiet. Shower and sleep and food sounds good. I'm sorry about my family, she said. He says, I just wish I could get my watch to stop sending me notifications every time they text. It's so annoying that I can turn off the notifications for the chat in my phone, but my watch doesn't listen. It's tapping me and tapping me and tapping me all day long as I'm trying to work on patience. And she shows him something about silent mode. Maybe try this. I know it doesn't solve the problem, but it will shut it off for now. Thanks, I'll try that. Hi, baby. I love your face. That sounds like NK. How you doing? Good. Just waiting for Julia. I'm trying to share my vital stats with you so you can see something even if I'm asleep, but my head hurts and the BP one is making it worse. The BP one? I would need a separate blood pressure app, I think. I'm not really sure. Is Belle home yet? Just got here. Are you okay? Yep. Just checking in on you. Checking in again. How are you doing? You're scary. Sorry, baby. I fell asleep on the couch and then I woke up and now I'm hungry. I waited an entire minute, Ange. Thank you for checking on me. I love you. I love you too. I like checking on you. Yeah, I'm sure you do because you're looking for an update that you want, right? How you doing? And he puts in login, blah, blah, blah. Even though I called ahead and they said they had what I needed, when I showed up today, they did not have it. I'm so frustrated. I'm headed back to my office to do some research and see if I can find another place in town that has glassware like this. I'm going to trust... Oh, look at this. I'm going to trust that you are sleeping and not dead somewhere. Nice. I just finished up with what I needed to do at work. I just left the office. I'm going to stop at King Soopers on my way home and grab a couple of ingredients to make dinner tonight. Love you. No, don't make dinner. Okay, all done with groceries. I am headed home to make you some dinner. No. Don't eat it. How are you doing? She said, I feel, and this is March 9th when she goes back into the when she goes to that Adventist health, and she's admitted for 5 days. I feel super tired, but I left my phone on my lap, so I hope I feel it if you text. Okay, thank you. And there's a picture. I don't know what that really is. It looks like a room. Oh, let's see. It's a desk, a laptop, gaming system. Said, I decided that me owning a water bottle just means that I get to come in every morning and look at it on my desk. She says, that is not the purpose of a water bottle. He says, are you nauseous? I'm reading up on low blood pressure. Not today. Then she says, I'm cold, super tired, weak, shaky, and dizzy. Super thirsty, he says. I've been drinking stuff all morning, so who knows? Blurred vision, he says. No. I'm having a hard time concentrating this morning, he says. I'm sorry, I'm just sleepy. That's okay, you don't have to say sorry. How are you doing now? I had Nikki bring over a glucometer to borrow. I am at 179 right now. I'll check again soon. I'm feeling like I did when you left. Okay, so high sugar. Yes. Did she leave the glucometer? Yes. Did you eat anything this morning? Baby. Ange, are you there? Hi, baby, he's sleeping. Phew. I ate my protein fables and some crackers. I'm down to 140, but feeling pretty crappy. I'm sorry you're feeling so crappy. I hope they figure this out. How are you doing? Man, baby, you've got to stop scaring me like this. I love you so much, and I'm not used to all this excitement. Calls this excitement. I promise you cardio. I'm in room 212. Viv just texted about dinner tomorrow. My head is killing me. Can you please respond to them? On it. The nurse thought I needed more than Tylenol for my head, so the doctor gave me Tramadol. Okay, that's good, he said. Where do you go? Did you ever cut Allison off? Yes. Why? Just making sure. Did she ever say anything about it? Nope. She never responded. That's weird. I wonder who Allison is, huh? Cut her off. Did you know that Violet's activity days is at Julia Olson's house? Here we go, double word Jim. I really, really hate it when they do that. Yeah, but they texted it this week, and it didn't cross my mind. My question for you, if we're measuring my vitals to see what's affecting them and what's not, wouldn't giving me oxygen when my stats go down mess that up? It absolutely would, I'm telling you. I have lost almost all of my faith in that hospital. She said, and I'm going to ask the nurse that just came on shift if they're supposed to be checking my urine and blood glucose. He said, have you been able to ask this question yet? Are you doing okay? Yes, I fell asleep. She hasn't come back in yet. I feel a lot less anxiety knowing that you are hooked up to monitors, and if I can't get a hold of you, it's not because you are dead. Why the heck does he keeps telling him dead? Right? So, there was a link, I think she means a kink, in my IV line, and it's been beeping forever, and nobody has come in. Are they monitoring this? Just a second. Blood sugar, 134. Blood pressure, 78/55. The doctor down in the ER had no idea what she was talking about. Hold on. They are going to be in here every 4 hours to monitor my blood pressure and my blood sugar. The blood sugar part I should have expected. The only thing this machine that I am hooked up to is monitoring is my heart rate and my oxygen saturation. I'm glad they're watching it. I'm glad you're glad. I'm exhausted and sitting here feeling like crying because I know I'm not going to get any sleep. I'm so sorry. I hate that. Also, don't be mad at their leaders. We gave permission for Nora to pick up V and to take her to the lobby to find me or the big girls. I'm just not sure why everyone left the lobby with 2 little girls there alone. Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. You should maybe try and ask the girls a little more about it, like who they were playing with and where they were before they noticed they were all alone. I'll definitely do that. Bishop just stopped by. Apparently when Barb Harper finds something out, the entire ward knows about it. LOL. Carrie Warnick is texting me. Amy Campbell is texting me. Julia Olson is texting me. Barb is texting me. You can imagine we have more support than we can handle right now. Anyway, so Bishop stopped by, and I'm wrapping up with Cleo and Bill, and we are both going to come by and spend some time with you tonight. We are driving separately so that I can stay a little longer than he wants to. Barb wants to bring dinner tonight. Kelly Hansen is already bringing dinner tonight, but if Barb would like to do it tomorrow night, that would be great. Can you text Barb? Done. How did your orthostatic vitals come back? She put some results in there. And it looks like 102/62, then sitting 86/60, standing 107/63. Wow! Standing is really a cardiovascular workout for you. I think you're in zone 3 there. She said my head hurts so bad. Oh, I'm so sorry. Have they given you anything for it? I'm going to lay down for about an hour in case you're trying to reach me. I just took a tramadol. Is your headache any better? We are headed to the orthodontist now. A tiny bit, but not really. I'm so sorry. Have any of the other test results come back yet? Also, have the doctors said if you're going to come home today or not? She says everything was negative or normal. They just did an ultrasound of my heart. She said she could send me home or keep me and watch my BP. One sec. He said just tried to reach you but went to voicemail. I hope that means you're getting some rest finally. I plan to bring the girls up a little bit after 5 o'clock. We probably won't stay super long and everybody there because Cleo has a hangout with a couple of friends at our house tonight at 6. Plus it gets to be a little bit wild and crazy with everybody in there at the same time. And I know that your headache probably doesn't appreciate that. By the way, if you have any insight for me on what you would prefer in terms of visitation, let me know. It's really hard to read you, and I don't know if you like having us come up and visit or if it just makes it hard because you have to talk and think and we are noisy. I also don't really know if you like when I come up or what you would prefer. I want to do what you want. Oh yes, he's such a nice, sweet guy. Sweet man. I'm working on stretching right now in the hopes that my head will feel better. They just gave me a bunch of meds for my headache and my heartburn. I do feel like seeing you guys, but you're right. When my head hurts, it's hard to have a lot of people in here making a lot of noise. I love having you here. I just don't want to wear you out, trying to take care of everything at home and be here with me. He said, I'm fine. It's really busy and crazy. But that's always the case when you're not around. I want to be up there with you 24/7. I love you and miss you, and I'm so worried. I wish you were healthy enough to come home and snuggle me. But thanks for staying so that I can feel like you're being cared for by professionals. She says, please bring deodorant. He says, a thumbs up on that. I love you. I'm excited to have you home again. I'm kind of feeling a little bit like I'm drowning, but I'm doing my best. Yeah, because it's all about him, right? She says, I'm sorry. You're doing great. Yeah, keep giving him attaboys. So my BP was just 145/73. I can't win. Oh my gosh, he says. I'm going to head over and hang out with you for about an hour, or I should say, I'm going to hang out with you until I feel like I'm falling asleep, and then they will come back home and do exactly that. But I want to see you again today. I love that idea. How are you feeling? The nausea is back, but my head doesn't hurt as much. We will take what we can get, right? If you haven't left yet, please don't forget to bring me a t-shirt. These long sleeves are making my vitals a little rough. I have already left, but I remembered the t-shirt. Thank you, baby. Thank you for coming back. I miss you so much. It's nice to have some time. I love you. He says, you're welcome. I wish I could have stayed longer. I love you, and I'm so glad you seem to be doing better. I hope you're able to at least get some water or crystal light down. And then he says, I just woke up dreaming about making love to you. I love you, and I want you. Okay. This guy's really going to town now. Then she doesn't even answer. Okay. Good morning. How are you feeling? She says, bring a couple of pears just in case. Okay. I forgot to ask. How has your blood pressure been? Please let me know when the doctor comes. She's coming in now, she said. I wonder if we should just request a cardiologist or a nephrologist consultation. And then he sends her a picture of teeth. Okay, the first stage of finishing up. The case is complete, and now I have to put in the curing unit for an hour. So I'm going to go home and grab the kids and come see you at the hospital for a little bit. I don't have to be back at the office in exactly an hour. It could be any time after that. How are you feeling? Any different? She said they gave me heartburn meds, and I think I slept for a little while. He said, yes. Yay, we're home. She said, have you been updating the big kids at all? Yes, he said. Thank you. How did the scan turn out, he asks. She says, head of emergency surgery just left. Gallbladder is slightly distended, but that happens when you don't eat. He said he doesn't think my issue is surgical, and he's going to look through my charts, talk to the doctor on the floor, and see what kind of plan they can come up with. He says, I guess that's more good news that there's not something definitely seriously wrong with you. I mean, that came out wrong. I guess what I mean is I'm glad that they don't see anything obviously surgically wrong. Then he says, March 11th, 5 o'clock p.m. How are you feeling? Nauseous, nauseated. I'm so sorry. Have you been able to keep anything down? Mark and Renee are coming tomorrow. I haven't even tried. Why? So that they can be here next week to help out with the kids and stuff, just in case you're still feeling really weak and crappy. That's nice of them. I didn't ask them. Mark just sort of said, we're coming, and then followed up with, if that works for you. That sounds like Mark. Violet and Cleo have matching tats. Did they hook you back up to your fluids? No. How's the afternoon? He says, busy but good. Main level is clean, starting the laundry and feeding the kids now. Can I bring you anything when I come tonight? She said, I think I have everything, thank you. That's not true. You don't have me. Oh my gosh. Gag, such a narcissist. Although I guess when I come, I will probably bring me. Oh, you're so funny. Your jokes are so funny. They put me back on fluids. Do you know why? No. BP? No. It's been fine. So weird. I'm sorry. More puffiness probably. Have you been peeing a lot? Yes. That's good, I guess. Been able to eat? I had half a cracker. I'm waiting it out. 135/74. Jeez. That's actually high for you. I know. And then he has commercials being emotional for no reason. Chloe sent you a video. Annabelle shared this with Cleo, and Cleo shared it with me. We all thought it was so hilarious that I wanted to share it with you too. I'm sure all of 3 of you laughed hysterically, or maybe when you come, bring some very simple chicken noodle soup. I need to try something. I'm going to try some broth in a minute and see how I do. Okay, I can do that. And maybe some Vicks. Gotcha. Any meth? Wow. I think I'm good. So this conversation just happened. Hey, Violet, do you want to go with me to visit Mom in the hospital? Violet, no, I'm good. Just tell her I'm thinking about her, and I miss her, and I love her, and I'm praying for her. She's watching Harry Potter with Annabelle. I don't blame her. I don't want to be here either. Do they have a microwave or something there? I'm wondering if I should bring you like a simple cup of soup that you can microwave, or should I just bring like a box of chicken broth? What are you thinking? Maybe something that could be warmed up. They have a microwave. I'm almost done with the broth they brought me. We'll see how that goes. He said, I'm finally heading up. I totally forgot the Vicks, but I plan to come back later tonight anyway. I can bring it then. She said, I just got lots of nausea and heartburn meds. Maybe the broth will stay down. That's great timing. You should try to eat some more broth and maybe some Crystal Light or some water or something. When they discharge you, I would really like to see if they would consider leaving your IV in. Oh, yeah, her IV in, right? Because that would be great for him to poison her with, right? Just pop that in there. I have IV Zofran, and I also have fluids at the office, of course, and they'll be laced. So I could manage some of that at home if we ever needed to. Plus, if we do end up having to go back to the hospital, it will be nice to not have to start another line. Oh, great. I hate my IVs. They kind of hurt, but we can see if that would make you feel better. Wow. Morning, baby. You up? Yes, I hear last night was a little crazy. Yeah, it was, for about 2 hours. How are you doing this morning? I feel groggy and drugged. They have my butt alarm on. I can't get up or they will come in. I didn't throw up. Yay for not throwing up. Someone was cold in church. I'm trying some cream of wheat this morning. Okay, let's do this. So far, so good. I finished up with the sacrament meeting, and the bishop said that I can bring the sacrament to you. So I'm going to do that. Dave Chapman is going to lead elders quorum for me, and Annabelle drove separately, so she's going to bring the girls to the hospital to visit after church is over. But my mind just isn't really in church. Right now, I need to be with you. Last night was pretty scary. I'm going home to get some bread. And then he texts a picture of him driving. I'm coming to see you. I feel like I have totally worn out this stretch of road during the last week. Then he says, it just occurred to me that I have not brought you any flowers while you're in the hospital. I'm so sorry. I don't know how that skipped my notice. I think it's because I keep expecting them to let you go at any moment. If I had known that you were going to be here this long, I probably would have done a better job with that. It's okay. I don't need flowers. Clean underwear, blue and gray pajama pants, pink shaver, pink or teal t-shirt, Pilates socks, plastic bag for dirty clothes. Were you wanting me to go home and gather these things and bring them right back? Or is it okay to bring them the next time I come down? I like them as soon as possible. I feel kind of gross. Okay, I will drop the kids off at home and grab that stuff and bring it right back. Where would I find the blue and gray pajama pants and the pink or teal t-shirt? The girls know what I mean in case you don't. Pajama pants on the shelf in my closet, t-shirts hanging up. My duffel bag should be in there too. Also, travel size soap. Noted. BP 114/81. I have a low-grade fever. Man, your blood pressure is all over the board. 145/45 followed by 114/81. Somebody needs to tell your brain to get it together. I've been saying that forever. Okay, I'm adding this to the list. Clean underwear, blue and gray pajama pants, pink shaver, pink or teal t-shirt, Pilates socks, plastic bag for dirty clothes, body soap, conditioner, my hair towel. My pulse ox doesn't want to work. Maybe you don't have any pulse. Wow. Maybe I'm a vampire. They keep taking all of my blood. Okay, I'm trying a sandwich. Wish me luck. Coming up. Me, that is. Hopefully not the sandwich. Wow, you're such a joker. Thank you, baby. I hope the EEG is going okay, and I hope you're able to get cleaned up in the other ways that you wanted to besides just your hair. I'm going to lay down for a while. Not sure how long. I would think somewhere between an hour and a half and a week should do the trick. I hope the EEG is going okay, and I hope you're able to get this. That was sent twice. My brain is normal, so there. I hope you're getting some sleep. I miss you. I'm awake now, so now what? He went to consult with my doctor, and I get to watch Big Bang Theory. What are you doing? Not much. I just woke up from my nap, and I think dinner is going to be here in about 10 minutes. They said between 5:15 and 5:30. Do you think they will let you come home tonight, or do you think they will have you stay one more night? She says no one has said, and I haven't seen my doctor yet, but I ate my sandwich. Well, look at you. Nauseous? A little, but not vomit-worthy. That's a huge improvement. I miss you. I miss you so much. When are you coming back? I thought about 6:30. Is that okay? That's the dentist. Please call them and tell them I'm coming. Okay. Oh, he said it's not the dentist. I thought they said the dentist. Okay, because sometimes they call to confirm your appointment. And I think dinner is going to be, where was I now? That's a huge improvement. I miss you. Hold on. She was watching Big Bang Theory. She had the sandwich. You said nauseous. That's a huge improvement. I miss you. I miss you so much. When are you coming back? I thought about 6:30, if that's okay. I was going to wait for Belle to get home from temple prep to see who wants to come with me and who doesn't. Okay. Are they going to let you come home tonight? No. Why not? Because of last night. Geez, Annabelle still isn't home yet. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had to tell Jimmy something. Okay, so then he says, I think I'll just do bedtime and come right back. I don't think I'll wait for Mark. I miss you and want you home. I think Nora was a little bugged that she wanted to see you and talk to you more, but she felt like Barb monopolized her time. Mark is is stuck in traffic up by the tunnel. He thinks there's a wreck, so he might be in kind of late. I don't know if he will even try to come into the hospital tonight. He might just wait until the morning. Okay, sorry, I'm hurting. I'm so sorry. I think when I come back, I'm going to bring your laptop so that we can watch something without commercials. Okay, so quick update. Mark is not going to come tonight. They won't get here until probably close to 11 o'clock. I have the bedtime routine all done with the kids, and I'm headed back to the hospital to hang out with you until I'm tired and I need to go to bed. I miss you, and I'm glad I get to have a little extra time with you tonight. Hope you're feeling better. I'm having a popsicle. Sounds exciting. I don't feel good. I'm sorry you're not feeling good. I just got here and I'm headed up. Hopefully you're feeling better, or I can try something to take your mind off of it. Good night, baby. I love you. I also finished that song for you. I meant to give you my AirPods and have you listen to it tonight. All about him. It's all about me, me, me. But when I got to your room, I totally forgot all about it. Maybe tomorrow. Mark and Renee are still at Idaho Springs, so they probably won't be here until close to midnight. I kind of gave them some preliminary instructions about what Nora and Violet will need in the morning, but I'm sure you might hear from them. Julia Olson also said she might take the girls for a play date at her house tomorrow because I think Leah is on spring break this whole week. Anyway, I hope you slept well and start to feel better. And if I can't, we can make it again tonight. I just miss you, and I want to be close to you. I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon, I hope. She says, I love you too, baby. Thank you for handling so much. Maybe someone will figure me out tonight. Did you give Mark the door code and the door and alarm codes? I disarmed the alarm. I woke up thinking about you again. I love you so much. Are you sleeping? On and off. Morning, baby. How was the night? Any crazy episodes? How are you doing? The tired is kicking in. I'm sure it is. My head hurts really bad. I'm not allowed to sleep without oxygen. Oh, wow. That's new. Nausea? I'm okay. I ordered cream of wheat. How's your BP and HR? BP was lower this morning, but I don't remember HR. 106? I feel super tired. I'll bet. Have you been to sleep much? Cardiologist thinks I'm a puzzle. I'm shocked. Literally said exactly what Dr. Farm said. Well, you're a puzzle. I know, so what's next? She put an I don't know emoji. He said he's going to check on me tomorrow, but also said Dr. King is supposed to come by. Now I'm hungry. Besides being hungry, how are you feeling? Tired. Like I want a real shower. Will they let you have one? It's hard with the IV. I ordered orange sherbet. Bragger. I would like to go home. I'm sure. Are they saying another night? They're not saying anything. I haven't seen my doctor. Are you still super sleepy? Pretty much slept all day. Wow. So not tired anymore? I think I mostly feel lazy. I just want to go outside and walk around. How's your heart rate? SpO2, etc. Same. But my SpO2 is low. Well, I was just sitting here. My nurse says I'm not lazy, but I should probably try to move around. Headache is gone, though, so that's nice. Heart rate still high? I'm so glad the headache's gone. Yes, but it seems to be my normal right now. It likes to hang out somewhere around 114. Jeez, he says. Talking to Carrie. No problem. I'm on my way to wrap presents. My legs are super hairy. I might have to shave twice. Do you want me to bring the chainsaw? Do you want me to bring anything to you in the hospital? No, I think I'm good. I may walk one of the girls through packing a bag for me so I have something to put on when I leave here tomorrow, but it can wait. I think you guys are probably already gone for dinner. Happy birthday, Belle. Sorry you aren't here. How are you feeling? Still sleepy, but good. I miss you guys. We miss you too. We gotta have a second birthday night with you soon. Can you stop at Panda Express on your way and get me a giant container of chicken lo mein? Yes. You sure you don't want something from Texas Roadhouse? It would be too cold, I think. Oh, I gotcha. Got you. Do you want anything to drink? No, thanks. Water's fine. I love you, and I'm excited to bring you home tomorrow. I wish I was going home now. I so wish that. I'll come back and see you tonight, though. Thank you. Nora says she doesn't like karate because of the teachers. Nora says she doesn't like karate because of the teacher's overwhelming need for respect. The Evermores dropped this off. They dropped her off flowers. That was nice. And then he shows the picture of the door with all hearts. Annabelle got heart attacked. I'm headed up with my laptop and an episode of New Girl in hand, if you care to watch it. Baby, I love you so much. I wish I had the kind of schedule that I could just stay up there 24/7 and be with you. I know it's lonely. Yeah, okay. And boring, and maybe sometimes scary, and I just want to be there to support you through all of it. Yeah, your poisoning of her? I'm good to look at my schedule tomorrow and hopefully rearrange some patients so that I can be up here as much as possible. Good night, my love. And just as the song says, I hope you know that you're enough for me. Indeed, more than enough. See, if he really did tell her that he wanted a divorce and all of that stuff, he's trying to deal with, poisoning her by at least letting her know that he doesn't want that divorce anymore. She's enough for him. Thank you for spending so much time here as you do. It hasn't been fun, and I want to go home, but it really hasn't been that bad either. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. When you get home, can you please put out the crock pot and the crock pot liners for Barb to come pick up tomorrow? She wants to make you guys taco soup, but wanted to do it in our crock pot so we didn't have to try to return it to her. Absolutely. I'm on it. Also, there's a funny spot in the doorbell cam. You might want to wipe that off. Oh, okay. I'm on that too. Maybe the funny spot is me. Do I look funny in it? I forwarded the heart attack video to Belle. I can't wait to see you at home in my bed tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be other places in the house too. No way, dude. I've had enough bed rest. Time for bed exercise? Oh my gosh, this guy. How about let's make sure I don't feel like committing first. Committing? Ha! Vomiting. Okay, commit to not vomiting. I'll work on it. I fell asleep. Good night, baby. I love you. What are your O2 stats? Not on oxygen. And what's your heart rate today? 96, 110. Not bad. Any idea if they're going to get you out of there for sure? No idea. Geez, this morning is nuts. How's yours? Any news yet? Lots of people coming in and out. When the nurse comes in next, I'll ask the doctor and discharge. Okay, great. Were you able to hold down your breakfast? I've been trying to sleep. I haven't had breakfast. Makes sense. Keep sleeping. You need it. I drank a protein drink. Good. I'm headed over to visit you now. Do you want me to bring you some Chick-fil-A? No, my stomach is a little I'll order a sandwich. The drink you gave me tastes weird. He's saying that. Good to know. I won't drink one. It wasn't bad necessarily. It just had a very very faint, subtle, chalky aftertaste. Yuck. They said yeah to the clindamycin, and Ode is putting it together now. Of course. I'm sorry your sinuses are hurting. It's okay. I'm sure I'll be fine. The meds will help. Thank you for taking care of me. Of course, don't forget you still have caffeinated Crystal Light if you want it, or if you want some fresh with ice, I can make some and bring it to you. No, this is good. I have a sandwich coming, so that'll be perfect. My mouth tastes like medicine. Doc just signed off and is getting my paperwork together. If she gets done soon, I'll have Belle get me. If not, you can come at 3, or should I call Renee? I should be able to do it if it's around 3 or later. It's okay if you can't. There are plenty of people who can come get me. I just like you best. Thanks. I like you too. Belle said Mark and Renee are on their way up to visit, so I bet I'll just ride home with them. My doctor wants me to do the HST. Do you have one you can bring home? Although I'm kind of thinking maybe I should do it after I'm done with the antibiotics. I do have one, of course. Are they letting you out soon? I hope so. I have my own oxygen tank. Like an old lady? You married an old lady. On my way home. Oh, yay. I'm home, but I feel exhausted and dizzy. The hospital just called, and I left my pillow and my phone charger. Could you get those on your way home? Meds? What do you mean? I sent that yesterday. Bear up their burdens with ease. And it's something from the church. Thank you. I love that you share things like this with me. I finished that talk. So you feel like the load you're carrying right now is needed for you to get unstuck spiritually? Because I never really thought you were spiritually stuck. I just noticed you keep reading my messages but not responding. And I have some time between patients right now, and I thought I'd try calling instead of... That was easier. I left my phone on accidentally. Sorry, I was actually asleep. Oh, okay, I wondered. Tired? Weekend really dizzy this morning. I'm having trouble staying upright. Is Rich still coming to tune the piano? No, he got sick and just called and left me a voicemail and told me he wouldn't make it today and he would call to reschedule some other time. Okay, that's probably best. We have enough going on. Agreed. I'm excited for the girls to get to go to the zoo. Did they leave already? Yes. You feeling any better? Maybe you're getting some much-needed rest. I love you and hope you start feeling better. I'm here, but waiting in line like I'm checking in to visit a prisoner or something. Security is taking people back one at a time. How are you feeling? Okay, I think, let me see, we still have about half of this to go through. And I think we should do a part 2 because I have to go to the dentist. So I'm going to schedule part 2 for this, say at about, I don't know, a little later on tonight. Please don't read ahead so we can both read it together. I know that some of you want to skip to the chase, but try to resist that. So we'll come on after I get back from the dentist, like maybe later on tonight, maybe around 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, and do part 2 of this. Don't read ahead. But we can finish that tonight. All right. And I will talk to you guys later. And I'll see you after the dentist, but I got to get ready to go to the dentist. All right. So don't read ahead, and we'll see you later. Love you guys. God bless. Bye now.